Ja, ik moet hier nog een minuutje wachten. Ah ja, want er is nog geen volk. Dat wordt een moeilijke. Dat wordt een moeilijke. Hello and welcome to our live stream of the BROR launch in Kiruna, Sweden. This time with voice of Sander, the webmaster and founder of SpaceWeatherLive. You can leave your comments and questions in the chat and we'll do our best to answer them. We're currently about 19 minutes away of launch and we await the countdown. Imagery will soon be visible when the camera is turned on. So please be patient. Eighteen 54 is a local time, so it's about a quarter minute away from launch. Weather still looks good, clear skies and limited winds is measured, so it seems like we're good for launch. That was latest update by the Swedish Space Corporation, yes. UTC time is 17:40, 54 currently. So it's Kiruna is situated at UTC +1, so it's about an hour difference. And we're about 14 minutes away from launch. once they've planned on the right altitude. I don't know exactly. Could be a few minutes, but we'll see. Haven't seen it live, and it wasn't communicated how long the light effect should last. So we'll see. And hello to everyone. We're about 10 minutes away from launch, and weather still looks good. So the weather balloon was just released to measure the winds at a high altitude. So fingers crossed for a good launch. If wind speeds are above limits, there might be a scrub. So hopefully that won't happen. Great question from Fish. How big was the latest solar flare on the far side? Well, we actually don't know. We don't have any satellites up the far side, so we don't have anything to measure the strength of a solar flare. The CME might look impressive, but that doesn't tell you very much about the strength of a solar flare. Even a very long duration M-class flare can produce a big big CME. So you can have an X-class that is pretty short in duration that only causes a minor puff of a coronal mass ejection. So the looks of the CME doesn't tell you a lot about the actual strength of the solar flare. And we're currently in a hold. The countdown has stopped on T-minus 10 minutes and 23 seconds, likely due to the weather balloon that has to measure the wind data. So Good question from Michelle Kitt. What's the purpose of this rocket? Well, it will be used to help us to learn more about the Northern Lights. So it's an experiment which will be performed at an altitude of about 100 kilometers. Normally, at launch, we will see a rocket going up, of course, but once the deployment takes place at about 100 kilometers altitude, they will release something in the sky that produces nice bluish clouds, a bit of a special kind of aurora. And we have an update. The BROR campaign is again cancelled due to winds at high altitude. So again, it's a scrub for today. So guess we'll have to do another live stream and hopefully another launch attempt soon. But we're still here for any questions you might have about SpaceWeatherLive or the Northern Lights or solar activity. Thanks, NH777, for your comments. Nice that you love our app. We do our best to provide the best experience. And yes, it's on our wish list to do notifications based on the solar flare class, but we have some technical difficulties that we have to prevail before we can launch something like that. But it's definitely on our wish list, and we hope we'll find a solution for it so we can provide it in the next update of the app. So the next launch attempt will come after tomorrow's meteorological meeting of the Swedish Space Corporation. So tomorrow we'll be able to tell more when a new launch window will open. So we'll definitely update it on our social media. Josephine, the launch attempt has been scrubbed. So due to high winds on high altitude, so we'll update tomorrow when a new launch window will be given after a meteo update. So no launch for tonight. Hopefully, still some Aurora at Kiruna, but no blue clouds of the sounding rockets launch. So Bubbles UK, welcome to the Aurora hunting community. In Scotland, there are many times that you can photograph or view the Aurora. It's a bit more northern than where I am in Belgium, so it's a pretty good spot, often with CMEs and coronal holes. We'll see a lot of pictures from Scotland as well, so you don't need a lot to see it over there, but don't use the global KP index. It's not the best way to have a shot at good aurora chances, but many times magnetometers are the way to go. If you catch a substorm on the magnetometer, then you'll definitely have a lot of odds to see or photograph the aurora from where you are. Welcome. It's our second live stream and the first one with audio commenting. So we're still improving a lot and we're learning along the way to improve our live streams. And we did a few in the past with Northern Lights live from Kiruna, Sweden, from the same balcony that you're watching the stream now. So but that was without commentary provided. Hopefully we can do that again in the future with extra commentary so you guys can ask questions about space weather and such. So for the aurora to be visible from Kiruna, it's just after sunset. So take a few hours before the northern light starts to show. But currently the conditions for the northern lights are a bit unfavorable because the direction of the interplanetary magnetic field is a bit northward. So to be able to catch the aurora at Kiruna, we need a direction that's slightly southward for a bit longer. So hopefully it will better later this evening. But it's very calm currently, geomagnetically speaking. Sarah, yes, that's the same type of experiment of Andoya. So in this case, it's the IRF that will conduct the experiment at the Kiruna launch site. Esrange launch site. Excuse me. A bit confused about our cam location at Kiruna. That's not so far away from the Esrange launch site, so it's about 30 kilometers away. Melatopia, the CME that went off 3 days ago that reached 3,000 kilometers per second. Is there a chance of it happening Earth facing? Well, the speed that you're mentioning is the takeoff speed. So the CME slows down along the way. So it slows down a lot. And I do remember CMEs that were that fast. So if you look back at the Halloween storms of 2003, we had an Earth directed solar flare X17 that was a direct hit at Earth. That was a very fast coronal mass ejection that arrived just a day later. So that caused a very severe geomagnetic storm with the northern lights being visible up to Spain. So yes, it can happen, but the odds of that are actually pretty low. A G5, a severe geomagnetic storm, can only happens only once in a solar cycle. And in the last solar cycle, the 24th solar cycle, was a bit of a bummer, and we didn't have such a severe storm back then. Jack Frost, the sounding rocket, only contains the science experiment for the Northern Light study, so it doesn't contain any other instruments. It's also a thin rocket. It's not too big, so it only has the one experiment on top. So no other experiments will be performed with the launch. Doc Wootton, from what I read, the areas on the sun that it came from will rotate Earth-side really soon, I think. It takes about 14 days for a sunspot to cross the hemisphere. So if it's center disk at the other side, so it will take about 7 days to become visible at the limb. But as always, sunspots are continuously evolving, so they can blow each other up. So we'll see if it lasts till it rotates on the visible side, or if it gains strength. We'll see. So it's a bit of a waiting game now for that sunspot to appear, but hopefully we can have some nice solar activity when it rotates on the visible solar disk. Nikki Hamilton, yes, the launch attempt was cancelled due to winds at high altitude that were too high. So it's another scrub for tonight, but a new launch window will be looked after sometime tomorrow. They have a meeting about the weather situation, and a new update or new launch window will then be communicated. So hopefully we can do that live stream also. We will update our social media channels when that's the case. You can also subscribe on our YouTube channel and give us a like and put the notification bell on so that you get a message when we get back live. Jack Frost, what colors will it make the Aurora do? Well, it will give us some blue effects in the sky. So it will be a nice display of blue in a sky that's also pretty blue, but it's not like Aurora that will be green. So It's a bit different. Iron Chat, is the magnetosphere where auroras take place, and does it cause photon flux? Well, the magnetosphere is the place where the solar wind crashes against, and particles will flow along the magnetosphere inside the Van Allen belt at around the poles. And when those particles go deeper into the atmosphere of Earth, they will collide with oxygen and carbon dioxide molecules in the air, and that will create energy that gives out light. And that's the aurora that we see here on Earth. So we think we'll wrap it up here as it's scrubbed, and hopefully we'll see each other soon at the next live stream, and hopefully next time it will be a successful launch. 3rd time's the charm, right? So like, subscribe, and hopefully we see each other soon on the SpaceWeatherLive community forum, on the website app, and here on the chat on YouTube. Thank you for watching, and see you soon. Bye.